Superman, the Man of Steel, has very well been established in the Arkhamverse, from references to Metropolis and his villains like Lex Luthor. They're just straight up name drops. I wanted to make a video on what Superman's been up to in the Arkhamverse because there's so much evidence to compile that we can infer some things, and while we can't know for sure if they happened or not, it does make for an interesting video to kind of theorize on things like how long he's been Superman for and what kind of enemies or ventures he's been on. So let's get started. So, like I said, Superman has been established in his universe. Just to straight up let people know who aren't aware, Superman has been name dropped. Check this out.
It's Bruce Wayne, huh? Never would have guessed. The next thing you know, someone's gonna tell me Superman's really a janitor. Oh no, a journalist.
Let's look into that clip a bit more, because Superman is mentioned like he's a common household name, which implies he's been active as Superman for quite a while, which leads into my next topic of how long Clark has been active as Superman. Well, we can infer he's been Superman for a very long time, likely as long as Batman. If we go back all the way to Batman Arkham Asylum, we can see a magazine here in Harley Quinn's office. Zoom in on it, and what is a reference? The Injustice Gang, which is a team of villains in the DC Universe that were created to fight the Justice League. So, using this single piece of evidence, we can assume that Superman has been active for a very long time, probably as long as Bruce has been Batman, honestly. And just in case, we know for a fact Superman's a part of the League since we see him in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League as a member. Just in case someone here is crazy enough to somehow think he wasn't. Also in Arkham Knight, you can see Metropolis signs around the city with a red streak clearly meant to be Superman in the corner there, implying Superman has been an icon for quite a while, like I said. So, with that established, we can then infer that Batman and Superman have likely met early on in their careers, became friends, and became founding members of the League together alongside Wonder Woman, Flash, and Green Lantern. But this video isn't about the League, it's about Superman, so what has Superman been up to in this universe? Do we know anything about adventures or enemies he's fought? We actually know a lot more than you may think. First of all, let's get the question out of the way. If Superman exists, why didn't he help in Arkham Knight? Simple answer is that Batman has always been territorial of Gotham and hates when other heroes try to help. That would be the main reason. I wouldn't even say it's an excuse considering it's been a long time thing in Batman media. Aside from that though, if Superman did intervene and Scarecrow somehow managed to make Superman see his worst fears or warp his mind somehow, then Batman could potentially have way bigger issues on his hand than just Scarecrow. There's honestly a lot of reasons that can be used as to why he didn't help, like the bombs around the city, or he could very well been asleep since Arkham Knight takes place in one night, whatever the case may be. Now, let's talk about everything we know about Superman's universe in the Arkhamverse. We can't say for sure what kind of adventures he's been on, but we can infer a lot. Let's start small, with Catwoman's DLC in Arkham Knight. It takes place in a toy shop called Winslow's Toy Shop. This refers to Winslow Percival Schott, which is a Superman villain known as Toyman. He has no real powers or anything, but is a mechanical genius building stuff that's a threat against even Superman. Him having a toy shop that's still active can suggest that he isn't a villain yet in this world, otherwise his shop might be taken down, right? I don't know. Or he could very well be a villain behind the scenes. Either way, he's an established Superman villain that exists here, but we don't know if he fought Superman or if he's even an enemy. But nonetheless, it helps to build onto the universe. Next, and another big point, we got Amertek. Amertek is a military-industrial firm in the DC universe and it's been around since the events of Arkham Origins, so it's been established in this world for a while. The notable thing about Amertek is that it's employed somebody named John Henry Irons. Irons becomes a superhero who designs a high-tech suit of armor after Superman's death in the comics. His suit pretty much gives him all the powers of Superman, and he goes by the superhero name Steel. Now, we know Superman isn't dead in this universe, obviously, so that plotline can't be possible here yet, but Amertek being established helps to add that potential possibility for Superman going forward. Superman may have nothing to do with Amertek at this point in his career, but it is a looming idea that could be going on in his world. Next, we're going to delve a little deeper here and go into PlayStation's State of Play showcase that happened about 3 months ago, in which they showed a trailer for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, the next game that takes place in this universe. There's a bunch of Easter eggs in the game that pertain to Superman and Metropolis, but there's one in particular here for Edge Airlines and for WGBS, which is an alias for Galaxy Communications, which is a competitor for the Daily Planet. The notable thing about these is that they're owned by Morgan Edge, an enemy of Superman's and one of the known leaders of the Inner Gang, a worldwide crime syndicate connected to Apocalypse, home of Darkseid. He's a fairly potent Superman villain, and these companies suggest that he does exist in his universe. Perhaps he's already went rogue, we can't say for sure, but it is something to note. Now let's take it back to Arkham Knight. Over at the shipping yard on Founders Island, you can find a cracked open crate with newspapers inside from the Daily Planet talking about a meteor shower in Smallville. Now, this could be referencing different ideas. A meteor shower in Smallville has been shown in media before to hold meteor fragments from Krypton, which contain kryptonite, including green, red, and gold kryptonite. The meteor shower also had with it spaceships of Kal-El, Kara, aka Supergirl, and Brainiac's ship, so this Easter egg pretty much alludes to the plotline in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League potentially, since Brainiac is shaping up to be the big bad of that game. It is kind of strange because Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League takes place 5 years after Arkham Knight, so it makes you wonder what happened between this game and that with the meteor shower. It brings up questions like, did Superman do anything about it, and so on. Maybe Brainiac wasn't a part of the shower at all. Maybe it was just to allude to Kara or Kryptonite, or maybe it's just old papers of when Clark landed there. Anything really. Either way, it's something that happened around the time of Arkham Knight, so it's definitely something that Superman's been dealing with, and could be another reason as to why he can't assist in Arkham Knight. Now, last but not least, we have to talk about Lex Luthor, who is very well established in the Arkhamverse. Lex Luthor, in case you don't know, is Superman's arch nemesis, and he is very well established in his universe, like I said. You can see him expand his empire into Gotham, having a huge LexCorp building being built onto Founders Island. Something else that's interesting is that he leaves a voice message for Bruce wanting to take Bruce's Applied Sciences division.
Mr. Wayne, Lex Luthor calling. Apologies for going via your direct line, but I grow tired of these games. LexCorp has made a very generous offer for Wayne Tech's Applied Sciences division, yet your persistent unavailability begins to look less like a busy schedule and more like deliberately antagonistic behavior. Come now, meet with me. I'm sure we can come to an agreement. A man of your refined taste doesn't need an Applied Sciences division after all. He needs another $1 billion.
On top of all this, it's heavily implied Lex helped fund the Arkham Knight's militia. Check this out.
Lex Luthor's got a building somewhere around here, right? Yeah, over by the plaza. You know, there's rumors he might have put some money into this. That ain't hard to imagine. He's had his eyes on this city for a while. If he gets rid of Batman, he's still got Bruce Wayne to worry about. Ooh, terrifying.
Lex is seemingly trying to take over Gotham. He probably helped Arkham Knight's militia to help kill Batman so he can do whatever he needs in the city without his interference. But in relation to Superman, listen to this piece of dialogue.
I'm just saying, if he runs, he's got my vote. Look, Luthor's not running. And if he was, you really want some billionaire geek in charge? He said the right thing about, you know, those meta-human types. Let's not mix work and politics, okay?
President Luthor is a storyline that's happened before in the comics where he actually wins the election and becomes a surprisingly competent president. He uses it, however, to push his evil agenda of trying to take down metahumans and specifically kill Superman, which ends up with him getting impeached. This line lets us know that Superman has already had an established relationship with Lex Luthor, and it's not far-fetched at all to assume that Lex and Superman have an established rivalry in this universe as well. Especially since the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, we see Lex with his classic mechanical war suit, which in the comics he uses to even the playing field with Superman to try and kill him. So let's summarize. Superman has been a thing for a very long time in this universe. If the Justice League's been around since Arkham Asylum, then Superman has been his own hero a long time before that, likely at the same time Bruce has started as Batman. His villains like the Toyman, Morgan Edge, Lex Luthor have all been established. We get a little bit of what's going on in Smallville due to the newspaper we see in Arkham Knight, and we have Amertech for a potential storyline where Superman dies. And the way Superman's advertised and how people talk about him makes it seem like he's been a hero that just everyone knows, like it's a common household name. It's safe to assume that he's had his plate full with a lot of other things going on in his city. With his next adventure taking place in the next game, it'll be exciting to see what he's been up to. Let me know if I missed anything. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. I really appreciate it. Please comment. I want to hear people's opinion on this. But yeah, goodbye, people.